Woodward? We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? Welcome to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off the day with the WUW Crew. I gotta say something though about my new shirt here too. My family, they made it for me for my birthday. Hey, shout out to the Kool-Aid. They wanted to make it Lions themed as well.
Yes.
So I was like, yo, shout out to them, man. Shout out to the Kool-Aid clan and Queen Kool-Aid as well. But it's your boy Brandon, aka Detroit Kool-Aid. We got Justin over there. That dude Justin kind of just in a zone right now in the sound booth, man. And up here on the desk, Flannel Sam, the vet of the network, back on the desk.
Oh,
what
yes.
up, though, brother?
You know what I miss, guys? And Broder, I know you're going to agree with me. I miss the days when we could break down Tigers games after every game.
I know, dude.
We can't even talk about Mark Canna's his walk-off against the... What's your favorite Mark Canna memory with the Tigers? I have more than most people do, but no. Obviously, I love to talk about the Lions and everything going on with them. We got some lists that we all made up. It is going to be a fire show, and in the second hour, it might get a little spicy. I'll just say that.
I think so. I think so. And we do have Scooble on the mound tonight.
Yeah.
And he pitches on Sunday at the Little League Classic versus the Yankees.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. Scooble versus Judge on that park, at that park, on that field. There's our Tigers little nugget for the day.
No, honestly, Scooble versus back-to-back Soto and Judge, that is must-see TV. So if you're a Tigers fan and you're disappointed about the fact that they're not going to play any meaningful games the rest of the year when it comes to the standings, hold on to that. If Tarek Scooble can actually hold them to a couple offers, that would be, I think that, give him the Cy Young right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Look, it's Flannel Sam, giver of hope. Giver of Tigers hope.
Well, I don't know about hope for this year, but hope for some exciting baseball. You know, you still got Scooble. You might as well enjoy him while you got him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is not an understatement.
Yeah.
I know that is also on the list today. Shout out to Matthew Broder. You guys heard from him about our credentialed Tigers and our Lions reporter and writer for the network, Matthew Broder. People,
Let's do it. It's going to be a good show.
And shout out to Woodward Sports' MVP in the titty booth. It is J.B. Smooth. Hey, Mike.
I think you're muted.
Check.
There we go.
All
There we go.
All
I
right,
hear you.
there we go. What's up, everybody? This is supposed to be a good morning today. Traffic sucks, but still, we made it here. We made it on time. We're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll, baby.
And what's up with the shirt?
Oh, Lord. Oh, no.
Come on.
This is, the Sunday wifey. Sunday wifey. I don't know.
You cook. Okay. You cooking up there in the titty booth. I see that. But hey, I know Flannel. You already told the people a little bit of what we are discussing today. Broder, I'll throw it back over to you for layup lines, unless there's more you want to tell the people.
No. Let's get into it. Did you guys hear ESPN's releasing a new E-60 documentary on Armando Galarraga and Jim Joyce, the imperfect game? They call it 28 outs, a near perfect game. So ESPN's releasing this documentary, and we can talk about that if we want. But I want to ask you guys where you stand on Jim Joyce. I have two questions. We'll start with the first one. But Jim Joyce, where do you stand on him? Is he one of the most hated people in Detroit, like Barstool Detroit put out on one of their most recent rankings? And then after that, I want to ask you, should Armando Galarraga, should the MLB recognize his perfect game officially in their record book? So, let me send it up to you, Flannel.
Yes.
Jim Joyce, what do you think about him?
I think that he's... Obviously, I wish he would have made the right call. Duh. I think he's a little bit overhated. If you're talking about him as one of the most hated people in the history of Detroit, I think that's a little bit misguided, because the reality is, and I know a perfect game would have been amazing. Armando Galarraga obviously deserved it, and the fact that he got the 28th out makes it all that more impressive. There have been a lot bigger choices as far as athletes or coaches who have actively prevented Detroit sports teams from winning.
Facts.
guys like, well, I'm not even going to give away most of the list, but that 28 out perfect game, the Tigers still won. It was just 1 out of 162. Obviously, the story of it all, we've never seen anything like it in all of sports. A perfect game that was taken away because of a bad call, especially given the fact that Armando Galarraga, other than that moment, is literally basically an MLB nobody. It's interesting. Obviously, I wish Jim Joyce would have made the right call, but I think he's a little bit overhated, and I don't even get a lot of hate from Jim Joyce amongst just conversations that I have, even from people in the chat. It just is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much well stated with Jim Joyce. It's an individual who has not, stood on the side of pride. He's been a guy that since this situation is stated, I made the wrong decision. It was a mistake. And if the baseball rules, based on the two questions that you asked, my answer it's a combination. I put this more on baseball. Jim Joyce admitted that he made a mistake. Jim Joyce has gone out and done public tours of this. Yeah. He's gone out of his way to try and make amends with Detroit Tigers fans. I don't hate that type of a guy. We all make mistakes.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So for me personally, I put this more on baseball is where my angst lies. You should have a way to kind of protect. If you talk about the purity and the sanctity of the game, I don't believe the purity of the game is upholding an error that everybody has recognized, including the individual who made that mistake.
Well, and you mentioned it too. In modern baseball, if a call that egregious happened, it would just be reviewed or there'd be a challenge and it would be overturned and the perfect game would be allowed to happen. I think because it's the last out of the game, this is one of the very few cases in the history of sports where a call literally cost someone a perfect game, and there's no dispute about it. The out happened. We all see it. We all could have made that call even in real time, even better than Jim Joyce. I still can't believe that happened. So, of course, the perfect game should be rewarded retrospectively just because it was a direct correlation. It was the last out of the bleeping game. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I realize there are a couple of people in here. LFG mentioned he didn't even know about this story that this happened, and I don't know why I assume that everybody did, but I guess if you're not a baseball fan, and he said he lived out of Michigan for a decade, but it was Armando Galarraga, former Tigers pitcher, 27 outs he got in a row, and then Miguel Cabrera on a ground ball to Miguel Cabrera playing first base, ranging to his right. He ended up having to overhand throw the ball to Armando Galarraga, going over to cover first base. Clearly the batter was out. It would have ended the game in a perfect game, but Jim Joyce, the umpire, called him safe. There was no replay at that time. I don't know about you guys. I enjoy that moment. While it could have been a disaster, and we all wish that he got the perfect game, how it was all handled, both by Jim Joyce, Galarraga, Jim Leland the next day when Jim Joyce came out, because he was the home plate umpire in the very next game. He came out and he was tearing up, and Jim Leland sent Galarraga out to give the lineup card, and Galarraga kind of gave him a pat on the back. It ended up being something that I enjoy looking back on. It's a positive for me. I don't even have any hate towards Jim Joyce. Like, he's number 4 on this most hated person by Detroit sports fans list, and that's the one I have the biggest question on. I'm like, I don't hate him at all.
Yeah.
It sucks it happened, but you look it back, it's two men who just dealt with it how you would hope things get dealt with today. I look back on it in a good light.
Yeah, we got a couple super chats in here. Dante151, $4.99. At least Jim J said he made a mistake and wished he made the correct decision. I think people hated Angel Hernandez more than Jim J. F Angel Hernandez. Dante151. And Ed O'Neill. This is an interesting one. $1.99 super chat. What if Brad Allen said I made a mistake?
That's all I asked for.
On that list for sure.
That's all that I asked for. Like, in that whole situation, the only problem, and again, it sucks they made the wrong call or they messed up the Decker reporting in that Cowboys game, but if Brad Allen or the NFL had come out the next day and say, hey, we screwed up, I wouldn't have any I'd be upset. I wouldn't have any problem after like 24 hours. It's that they're doubling down and lying about it.
Brad Allen should be infinitely more higher on a Detroit fan hate list than Jim Joyce. One of the reasons, too, and this is something that I alluded to in the beginning, is that that Brad Allen call more than likely cost the Lions a win. It cost them a real chance at getting the 1 seed. And hey, I personally think that if the Lions had that game against the Niners at Ford Field, the Lions would have been in the Super Bowl, and who knows what happens from there. When it comes to this perfect game, that wasn't. As much as we wanted Armando Galarraga to get the perfect game, he got the next out. The Tigers got the win. They got the shutout, and they kept it pushing. In that Lions game, it's 1 out of 17. It was a loss that shouldn't have been. And like you said, there's no accountability. I mean, Brad Allen, he didn't even take any at all. So yes, Brad Allen should be much more hated than Jim Joyce at this point.
I appreciate this type of passion. I really do, man. I'm getting pumped up right now. Hey, what up, though, to KG in the sound booth, Detroit #1 draft pick, man. What you got to say about it all?
Hey, what up, though, man? Are you still talking about the Armando Galarraga stuff, right?
Yeah, Jim Joyce,
Yeah.
Brad Allen, based on Eduardo O'Neill said, what if Brad Allen said, I made a mistake?
Yeah, well, it would have been a lot better received than it was, man. But, I mean, as far as Armando Galarraga, I always say I was watching that game live. Because of that game and because of that decision, that was the final push for the MLB to finally get replay in their game. So that was the only real good thing to come up out of that. But it's a record that 26 people have achieved in over 150 years of baseball. And it was such a blatant, obvious call that I just feel like you absolutely have to give this man his perfect game, man, so he can live on in history. He earned that. And I just feel like I just hope that the powers that be can make that happen. The traditionalists in baseball have always been a problem with them not wanting to go against what the umpire says or what tradition says. But ultimately, I just feel like that needs to happen, man, because that's one of the most egregious plays in baseball history, at least that I've ever seen. So, but definitely, I mean, Jim Joyce, it was outrage at the time. I don't think he's as hated now, but I would definitely put Brad Allen further up that list.
Yeah, in terms of moments that hurt, that one definitely hurt. I'm not going to shy away from that in terms of the Jim Joyce moment. But in terms of Jim Joyce as a person, no, he's not on my villains list.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Rando Small, Super Chat, $10. Thank you, Rando. He says, Milt Wilcox missed out on a perfect game. George Kell and K-Line talked about how it was Milt's only chance to get in the Hall of Fame. Galarraga deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he meant. I wonder, Rando, did you mean to say Armando Galarraga in the Hall of Fame or that perfect game honored statistically? Let us know. Yeah. I don't know if Armando Galarraga is a Hall of Famer.
No, there's 0 people who believe that, and 0 people should believe that. If you ask Armando,
he was a solid pitcher.
If you ask Armando Galarraga, he would be like, no. They should get rid of the Hall of Fame if Armando Galarraga is in it. But if he has a perfect game, pretty much any ball from the perfect game should be in a Hall of Fame. Maybe that's what he means. Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. Please tell me that's what you mean. Please.
And then Mike Reed, $5 Super Chat. DPJ looked good in practice yesterday. That is something we need to talk about, and we're going to here in this next segment. Shout out to you, Mike Reed.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, the chat is amped up right now. As always, you all are the most important part of this whole WUW Crew production. Go on ahead and smash that like button. We got a lot of Detroit Lions talk and NFL talk on the way as well. I can't wait to get into this next segment. I hear the music there, man. You know what? I'm ready to get into the Detroit Lions talk. So let's move on. Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. They offer you the same prices and all the conveniences of the online and the big box retailers with one major difference. They've been family and locally owned and operated for over 30 plus years. They carry over 60 brands of food and they have nutrition experts to help you same day, local, curbside, and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs like Dan Campbell double kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward sports.
Like, that's
Impress
funny
your
to me.
friends.
He wasn't like,
Impress your
"You
boss.
fucking
Impress
idiots,
your
talk
dog.
Lions."
Buy Woodward sports merch today.
Yeah. Bad take, bitch.
That's a bad take.
That's a bad take.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive and drive on over to Dispo. And how would you like $10 of free products from Dispo Dispensary? Screenshot this image with the QR code and bring it into any Dispo location, and you'll get a free $10 to spend in store with a minimum purchase of $25. Visit Dispo Dispensary today or disposhops.com. Dispo Dispensary, your local cannabis plug.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome
Talk
back.
Lions, bitch. Talk Lions.
We talking Lions.
Talk Lions
We
now.
talking Lions. I told y'all, look, I told y'all. I'm not exaggerating or making it up. When I tell y'all, our breaks are crazy.
Yeah.
And there's been crazier ones than that, but
Strategic hot mic.
Shout out to the hot mics,
The
man, out
strategic
there.
hot mic.
Who said that?
Hey, you know what, man? Thank you guys for being here. We're about to talk a lot of Lions, but first I need you guys to do your job and go ahead and satisfy that like button. You got to treat it right. You got to treat it nice, man, especially with the entire WUW Crew in the building.
Hey, y'all know what it is. We finna talk Lions, bitch. Don't worry about it. But right now, I just need you to whip that phone out and dress it real nice. You might even want to take the case off, but just go ahead and tap that Kool-Aid, serenade them real quick.
Hey,
That's a lot of dead silence.
It is.
Somebody say something, please.
we're about to get pumped up, man. I'm fired up. Broder got me fired up, man, off that break. Oh, my gosh. And you know what? Sometimes those hot mics, they are perfect. But there's a lot of things that we have been kind of kicking around as Detroit Lions training camp and preseason has gone on. Do the Detroit Lions need a backup quarterback? That was before the concussion stuff. You were already ahead of the curve there, Broder. And we got the news, Jake Fromm in, and then Antoine Green, wide receiver. This one's a little bit of a head scratcher, but after seeing Dan Campbell's statements of him being released, I understand it. And then, you know what? At least we get the news of DPJ having a good day in training camp. Woo! And we got more injury news as well, man. Training camp stuff. Jahmyr Gibbs, hamstring. Rakestraw, upper body, and Terrion Arnold with an ankle. Is there anything, at least from the injury perspective, that concerns or worries you?
From what I hear, it's not going to affect them for any of those guys for a regular season game, and that's obviously the most important. Gibbs, I know that we were all crossing our fingers. We heard it was a hamstring, not anything too serious, and I am thankful for that. Of course, when it comes to Rakestraw and Arnold, you'd like them to get as many reps as they possibly can in practice, preseason games, etc. However, and I know it's just preseason, and I'm not victory lapping, of course, but Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw, I think, performed very well in their limited preseason action. Obviously, Arnold a little more limited than Rakestraw, but I don't believe any of them allowed a catch when targeted in that entire game. So they showed early on from stuff that we as outsiders could see that they belong in the NFL. As long as they're all ready for week 1, I'm relatively unconcerned, even with the rookies.
Yeah, definitely. And it's cool to see them make the impacts, but ultimately just stay healthy.
Yes.
Just stay healthy. I know we're going to talk in our NFL segment where we look at some rookies defensively that we think can make an impact, and it's because one of my guys, health is ultimately played a concern here, a role there. And I want to be able to see, at least with these guys, I want to see more reps, but just get to game 1 and do your job. Rakestraw has been a guy that since camp has started this year when the pads went on, he's looked like a dog, like a different animal. So looking forward to it. And Jahmyr Gibbs, hamstring, the fast guys. This is something that it kind of happens to those guys, especially training camp. You're ramping up to game speed. You just had your first preseason game. You just had a couple joint practices. I guess I get it.
Yeah, it is what it is at this point. Not concerned in the slightest. Like I said, if it were to be anything, it'd probably be about the rookies. But I believe that they're 2 very advanced rookies. I will just say that will perform very well once the season gets underway. More on Terrion Arnold a little bit later.
Yeah, the key to this is Gibbs. The key to this is Gibbs, and that this doesn't stretch into the season or have to miss any extended period of time. I'm okay if he's got to miss the rest of training camp. I think he knows the playbook and understands. While the reps would be great, he knows the playbook and understands where his role in this offense is headed. What he needs is that explosiveness, that ability to cut on a dime. He needs to be healthy, and while it's a minor hamstring now, what we don't want to see is that to come back up to him to what's the word? For him to
aggravate.
That's the word. Re-aggravate the hamstring injury. We saw Parker Meadows with the Tigers a few weeks ago. He went down for a couple weeks. You just got to rest it so it gets healthy before you start ramping it back up. So as long as he's good for the beginning of the season, I'm good.
Yeah, and when you're a rookie running back, a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs, who last season had the best rookie running back season in the NFL, I'm not as concerned about getting reps in training camp because we've seen it on the field. So if it's something where it would behoove the Lions and Jahmyr Gibbs to make sure he's rested for week 1, I have no problem with him sitting out maybe even longer than he would than if it was up to him playing meaningful games in the next couple of weeks. So just rest up and get healthy, Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Rest up and get healthy. And LFG, I'm going to use this for a transition. I hate Jake Fromm. No.
How can one hate Jake Fromm?
How do you hate Jake Fromm?
Really played,
he's a nobody.
Yeah. Remember what we saw on Thursday night? Remember Nate Sudfeld out there on the field?
Yeah, 10 times better.
Yeah, and you know what, Dan Campbell, he had some comments about Jake Fromm. I wanted to be able to read those off. He said he's a smart, headsy guy. We feel like he's going to be able to conduct the offense pretty fast, enough to be able to go out and help us if need be. He can anticipate all the throws, and just with where we're at, we felt like he could come in and function. He's someone we feel like we can work in the pocket, and he has fortunately available. Had his workout today, and it looked pretty good, so we'll see where it goes. Just a little bit of what Dan Campbell at least was thinking as it relates to Jake Fromm, and just as it relates to the 3 appearances that he made in the NFL all in 2021 with the New York Giants. Last year in the preseason, he went 28 of 41, 261 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. So one of my concerns through preseason was the wide receivers getting the proper reps, especially if they're not going up with a quarterback like Jared Goff. We don't really know how to properly assess guys like Fountain or DPJ in preseason because we just don't know what Sudfeld was as a quarterback for them. And then Hendon Hooker, after a good connection with DPJ, wound up getting hurt and then went back to the Sudfeld show. So Jake Fromm is somebody who I'm hoping that at the very least, Hoof-hearted, he said it. If Fromm can come in and function, he's already better than Sudfeld last week.
And that's the and that's the thing. I think a lot of us fans right now are starving, to paraphrase Neil Rule, after watching Nate Sudfeld out there and watching Hendon Hooker unfortunately go down with what appears to be a minor concussion. And Jake Fromm, if he even is somewhat functional out there, is going to look a hell of a lot better than Nate Sudfeld. But to go back really briefly to the comment, whoever said it said, "I hate Jake Fromm."
LFG.
I don't think anybody anybody could really hate Jake Fromm at this point because he's irrelevant. What I'm guessing, and I'm trying to get into the psyche of LFG, is that maybe you wanted something a little bit more at this point instead of Jake Fromm, because it's probably likely that Jake Fromm is irrelevant as well. I liked him as a prospect, but he's been a career backup. In the few snaps that he did play, he didn't really look that great. But as we said before, Nate Sudfeld, that might have been the worst quarterbacking I've ever seen. And I get it, not with the best players out there, but Jake Fromm will surely be better than that, right? Maybe, yeah.
He's got to be.
He has to be.
Maybe.
He's like I know Goff didn't like this term, but he's like a poor man's Goff. And then Sudfeld's like a homeless man's Goff. Literally, you just need someone to come in and hold down the fort, really bridge the gap to when we think, actually I should say, when I think Hooker is ready to take over as that true number 2, have the confidence that he can come in a big game or for a game or two and hold down the fort. But they just needed, they couldn't have Sudfeld out there for 4 quarters in a preseason game. They needed some ammunition. But what I want to ask you guys, what surprised me, the coinciding roster transaction that happened was waiving Antoine Green. Not that I was all that high on him. I know he was competing for, we'll call it the wide receiver 4 or 5 spot. It just surprised me they moved on him this fast.
It just shows you that in this competition, in which to me there's an obvious top 3 with Amon-Ra, J-Mo, and Kalif Raymond, you got to seize the moment. And unfortunately, Antoine Green, he had a couple of catches in preseason, but he also went down with a concussion as well. I don't think it was necessarily just injury related. It's just maybe Darius Fountain has looked better. Maybe they have more faith in Donovan Peoples-Jones. Hell, maybe they have more faith in Isaiah Williams. They might even have more faith in Caden Davis for all we know. That's a lot of wide receivers at that point. If Antoine Green isn't standing out from the crowd, he's somebody that's expendable. I mean, he was a 7th-round pick. I don't think any of us were really expecting too much anyway, so I'm not necessarily surprised. However, with his physical gifts, I'd like to have seen him make the team, but maybe he's just not that good. He's a 7th-round pick. Maybe he's just not that good.
Yeah, Dan Campbell said yesterday in his press conference, he's just been waiting for one of these wide receivers to step up and separate themselves. He highlighted DPJ before yesterday's practice as one who's looked really good since that Giants preseason game, which we've all been kind of waiting to hear about him at least. But he called out, he says, we're dying for someone to step up like Traquan Smith, Darius Fountain, Caden Davis. He didn't mention Isaiah Williams, but I imagine he's in that conversation. But really, they're still waiting for that person to step up. Right now, it seems like a Amon-Ra St. Brown, J-Mo, Kalif Raymond, and then, all right, DPJ, somebody step up.
Yeah, and that's where I do wonder how much the emergence, or, it's just preseason, so we're not going to take a victory lap necessarily, but, Isaiah Williams, he 4 targets, caught them all, 35 yards. I wonder how expendable does that, or how easy does it make the decision to say, you know what, let's move on from Antoine Green, who I guess they're hoping to get him on their injured reserve if he clears waivers, which is highly likely for the Lions. So they still get to keep him when he gets healthy. They still get to keep get a look out for him. But you know what, Isaiah Williams, the reports of DPJ having a good camp. I don't know, was that with first team or second team offense or whatnot? Because I do believe that's going to make a huge difference for a guy like DPJ in this preseason.
Well, DPJ's got to win this job. And I said as much on the other day on this show that he is the most talented of that group of receivers. He's proven the most, and he's still young. Donovan Peoples-Jones might be fighting for his NFL life at this point. And you saw him make a nice catch in preseason. We've seen him. I mean, we haven't seen it. We've heard reports that he's maybe the one that's standing out from the crowd. Maybe Donovan Peoples-Jones's emergence made the Lions coaching staff more confident that they could cut an Antoine Green or at least waive him. Or maybe Isaiah Williams' good preseason game and the fact that maybe he's a little bit more reliable and steady in practice made it easier to waive a guy like Antoine Green. I mean, Isaiah Williams, he's kind of a homeless man's Amon-Ra St. Brown. And he was underdrafted. And he's somebody that probably should have been drafted. I'm not saying that I'm expecting much out of him. It's just I personally wasn't too surprised that he was the one that looked the most consistent with his route running and hands, at least out of all of the cluster of wide receiver 4 to like wide receiver 9.
Yeah. And with the wide receivers, I was saying on the show yesterday, that was the position group that for me personally, in preseason, I had the most questions about, and I haven't really gotten any answers.
Questions.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions. And with Jake Fromm, I'm hoping, like I continue to say, that he can help these wide receivers get the reps, and we can get some clarity on what that wide receiver position group is. But at the very least, the often forgotten Kalif Raymond does form out a formidable, in my opinion, wide receiver rotation with your top three. That fourth one, I agree with you. You want to see DPJ go out there and win it. Everything is there for him. He has put some stuff out there on tape. He has had the stats in the past. He has the size. He has the opportunity. He has all of the support. He's at home.
Yep.
It would be a great story to see this guy at least round out the wide receiver 4 and be able to be dependable whenever they decide to roll certain coverages over to our top guys.
Yep, and if you're Donovan Peoples-Jones, and I hate to, this is going to sound disrespectful, but it's not. You can't lose a roster spot to a rookie undrafted. You can't lose a roster spot to undrafted Caden Davis. You can't lose a roster spot, and this is kind of me repeating what I said last week, to a Darius Fountain who's a lifetime journeyman who has 2 catches in 2020. You just can't. He's too talented. He's done too much in this league, and he's too much in what you would consider his physical prime for that to happen. So hopefully he really stands out from the crowd in these upcoming weeks at training camp and the preseason.
Yeah, I think that was the plan all along. They wanted DPJ to have this job, but this isn't the type of coaching staff that's just going to give it to you or just do it just off of reputation. They wanted you to come in and win this job. It's been unfortunate to this point that he hasn't, because I'm somebody that has watched this kid, and I think he has all the ability in the world. He's done it without even having consistent quarterback play, but you got to prove it. Every time you strap up, you got to go out there, you got to compete. So hopefully he can step up and win this. It's seemingly the number 4 job now. Yeah. You still have to worry about Isaiah Williams, Antoine Green, who got cut. I thought he was a good candidate for that as well, and he could still be brought back to the practice squad. But, you know, at this point, it's between him and Isaiah Williams to me, because he had the best performance in the preseason so far, leading the team in reception. So.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing shakes out, ultimately, because the expectation is Super Bowl this season. Yep. You want to see that the Lions have everything as a well-oiled machine, but we saw last year, if you don't have those things in place, just how much it can cost you. I don't think that they're trying to have any aspect of like that type of repeat nightmare. I will say this, though, and I know it's been said on a lot of shows, particularly by I've heard Sean Baligian say this, the fact that we're having almost an entire segment about who's going to be our wide receiver 4. Yeah. Don't we all feel pretty good about Kalif Raymond being a wide receiver 3?
Absolutely.
We're talking about a wide receiver 4.
And that doesn't even include Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs, who are probably going to be somewhere around 4 or 5 in receptions, targets, and yards. This wide receiver 4 might not even be that relevant to this team. It's just, to me, I've kind of been hammering the Donovan Peoples-Jones thing. And then when we're watching preseason, that's really all we see are like the wide receiver 4 through 10. And nobody besides Isaiah Williams really looked that impressive. So it's relevant right now, but it might not even be relevant to this team's success. And I think that as this team continues to win, and as that longevity of success that Brad Holmes says he endeavors for goes on, I think that as fans, as observers, as people who cover it, as the chat family, our eyes will get more accustomed to what to expect from a winning team. Like, it's different hearing fans of other winning organizations talk about their squads, and even if their teams go on like a losing streak, they're still cool. They're like, nah, we know this, we know that, we know the tendencies, we know the trends, blah, 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 blah. And I do believe that as this Lions team continues to progress, we'll definitely be able to kind of track that a little bit more and better appreciate in the moment what we actually have. And we're getting there. Yeah. It's just, it's been our first real playoff success since 1991. So be a little patient. Yeah, be a little patient. But no, I think we're getting there. We're getting there, man. Look, I'm looking forward to this next segment, man. We're talking about the top 5 impact rookies by years in defensively. And you already teased that one Detroit Lion might be on your list. Might be on some of our lists. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You'll have to find out. Hey, look at you teasing there. And I'm going to tease something else, too. The Ally Challenge in hole number 17. KG knows exactly what I'm talking about, man. Hey, all right. Look. The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren. It's back August 22nd to the 25th at Woodward Hills. The PGA Tour champions, they return, so you can leave the golfing to the pros. What do you need to do? Show up to hole 17. Listen, this is what I can tell you. $2 birdie beers, concerts, and more. The and more, you got to show up.
You got to show up. How do you do that? Get your tickets at allychallenge.com. Brought to you by Randy Wise Automotive. See you there.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
The Great American Chevy Week is back and bigger than ever at Feldman Chevrolet. Choose from the largest inventory of award-winning Chevys, all priced to move for the biggest week of the year. Get this 2024 Silverado for only $213 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $249 a month. Feldman takes the Great American Chevy Week to another level. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa, featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
What up, dog? People, welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys for kicking off the day with the WUW Crew. We got the entire squad in the building. That dude, Justin, you know what? Intern Chase, he will be back, but that dude Justin has returned. Matthew Broder, we got Flannel Sam, Detroit Kool-Aid in our elite booth, KG and JB Smooth. And I want to just take the opportunity to read a couple of these comments in the chat before we get into this next segment. LFG, Sam, I love your positivity, but Lions should add 1 or 2 veteran free agent wide receivers to replace Raymond and DPJ spots. Listen, I get the Lions stuff is what we do here, but I'm focusing more on the fact that the positivity. Sam,
hey,
you've been Mr. Positivity today.
I'm more positive more often than you think. Yeah. Just watch on a consistent basis.
Let's not get carried away here.
Hey, no, shout out to Noah H. He said, I heard the Blue Man Group is going to be at Hole 17 and they're going to talk for the first time.
Ooh.
Hey.
You never know.
Okay.
You never know.
And Jay Hart, he said, Kool-Aid, we should know our staff and players by now. That 3-1-3 season in Hard Knocks told us what we needed to know about our program, and last season set in stone. Any non-believers are just casuals. And I think that was in response to me talking about how if we know how to act as a team now that is in that kind of top tier or elite Super Bowl contending status. And you know what? I think you said it best. We're learning. We're going in it.
It's our first season as Lions fans really in this era, having a season, following a season where they actually hit their expectations, made the NFC Championship, and have even further expectations in the next season, where it's actually Super Bowl or bust. I can't think of a season in my lifetime in which it's really for real been Super Bowl or bust. This is it. So we're all on this journey together, and it's pretty damn awesome.
I can't wait. And you know what? We got a rookie on our squad who we're hoping will make a big difference as it relates to the Super Bowl quest for the Detroit Lions. And we're talking the NFL top 5 impact rookies by year's end. Defensively, I know Thursday we're going to get into the offensive players. And Flannel, you got to kick this thing off, man.
Yes.
Your top 5.
Ooh, my top 5. So without further ado, number 5. I have got Quinyon Mitchell of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's somebody who he's going to fill a need. Right now, the Eagles have Keely Ringo as one of their starters. I think Quinyon Mitchell is more physically talented. He, to me, was the best corner coming out in this draft with his size, his speed, his physicality, the fact that he was excellent in man coverage. Really, the only knock on him was he was from Toledo, didn't play the best competition. But that, to me, that doesn't matter too much. I think he's going to go into the Eagles, be an immediate starter, and be an immediate impact player. At number 4, our very own Terrion Arnold.
Let's go.
And I will say this, because I'm on record before. I was not the biggest Terrion Arnold guy going into the draft.
Crazy.
I had a couple of conversations with KG that were civil. I think that we both made our points.
They were.
However, this may be a little bit of a homer pick. And the fact that if Brad Holmes identified him, that to me tells a lot. The track record with rookies recently has been exemplary, and you've heard reports coming out of camp. You've seen it in the preseason that Terrion Arnold looks like he's going to be a starting corner this year, and I think he's going to perform very well. He might have some growing pains at the beginning, but now I think he's actually surrounded with a pretty solid defense. Very good safeties, a veteran on the other side, a nickel and a Meek. You've got a pass rush, which is going to make quarterbacks have to throw the ball before they're ready more often this year than I think the previous years. So yes, I think Terrion Arnold is going to be an impact player. Year 1, be the best rookie corner in the NFL, because as you see, 3 through 1 are not corners. At number 3, I got Junior Colson of the Los Angeles Chargers.
That's a good one.
I think
a lot of linebacker love.
Hey, absolutely. Junior Colson, he's another one. The Chargers need a linebacker. I think he's going to go in and start right away beside Denzel Perryman. I think he's one of those guys that is going to have a 100 tackle season as a rookie. I think he's this season's Ivan Pace. I really do. Although what Ivan Pace did as undrafted is amazing. I think that's the season you can expect from Junior Colson. About 100 tackles, maybe a sack or two, be pretty consistently good against the run and coverage. Just a solid, smart player. And oh, by the way, how many players get to play with their defensive coordinator at the pro level that they just played in college? It almost never happens. And now I think the Chargers will go from being a very not well-run organization to one that becomes exemplary under the leadership of Jim Harbaugh and Jesse Minter. Big season from Junior Colson. At number 2, and I'm so damn mad the Packers got this guy. You know how I feel about Edgerrin Cooper.
Talked about him all draft coverage, man. All draft coverage. I was ecstatic because you know how I feel about my linebackers.
Oh boy. When we do the redraft, even after this season, Edgerrin Cooper would have gone top 10. I don't know how he got to the second round. He's just so damn talented. He's going to fill the void, I think, left by Devondre Campbell. I think he's going to go in and be defensive rookie of the year candidate year 1 because he can blitz, he can play the run, he's better in coverage, he's just athletic as can be, sideline to sideline, and I think he's a guy that projects to be somebody who makes all of the smart plays within the system, but he is also going to flash on the screen at least once or twice per game, make that big tackle for loss, get a sack. Last season he had 17 tackles for loss and 8 sacks in college. He's going to be an absolute game wrecker for the Packers, and the Lions are going to have their work cut out for him. Hopefully, if he blitzes, he goes on Penei Sewell's side because I don't think he's going to pass him, but he's going to be very damn good. And at number 1, I have Layatu Latu. He's quite simply one of the best college pass rushers I've ever seen. Look at his sack numbers, look at his quarterback hits numbers. They dwarfed everybody else in the draft, including Jared Verse and including Dallas Turner. I think he is one of the most high-floor defensive players I've ever seen. I think at minimum, Layatu Latu's floor is Robert Porsche. Kind of impact for the Colts that Robert Porsche had for the Lions. And I think his ceiling is something like Kevin Green, a guy who's a Hall of Famer. Crazy. He had 160 sacks in a 15 season. So never like a Reggie White type of player, but still very solid, consistent 10-sack season every single year. I think he's smart, he's got NFL level power, and he's playing on a defensive line, which is pretty damn good. Opposite Kwity Paye as the bookend edge rusher, you've got DeForest Buckner, you've got Grover Stewart. I think that Layatu Latu is going to face some single teams, and he's going to feast right away. Look for him to have a season similar to what Aiden Hutchinson had in 2022, approaching 10 sacks, and just as the season goes along, become more and more of a disruptor. So that is my list. And the good news is Our first round draft pick is on mine, and I have him being the number 1 rookie corner. So hopefully that's your guys' biggest takeaway.
Hey, let's rock.
Great list.
Man.
Thank you.
Nice list.
Thank you.
I love the way that you broke down not just Latu, who was high on my list, and during draft coverage, that was a player that I was definitely intrigued by. With my list, there's a lot of guys on there. I think all of them are players that we actually broke down on the show as well. Ooh. And I've kind of kept my eye on those players since. And I got some high hopes and expectations for them. Hey, let's get that list up there, JB. Started with number 5, Nate Wiggins, cornerback for the Ravens. And what I like about Nate Wiggins and his ability to be an impact player right away is his speed, his closing speed. So his ability to be able to press up on the wide receiver as well as be able to run the route for them too. Get back and make make plays with his hands. Has strong hands for, that definitely aids him in pass deflections and breakups and whatnot. But I'm looking forward to what Nate Wiggins brings. What I believe he may lack sometimes, what people believe he lacks in size, he brings with the boom, man. Yeah. He's very, very physical. He can lay out
isn't everything.
Yeah, he plays with aggression, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. And it's sometimes for me, it's not just what the skill set is, but it's also sometimes the ecosystem that you're involved in as well.
The Ravens gonna get him together.
That's what I'm talking about, man. You're with the Ravens right now, and there's a couple guys on this list that kind of fit that vibe for me as well. But Nate Wiggins, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's gonna do this year with the Baltimore Ravens. Next, Chop Robinson, man. This is somebody that I think is gonna have a big year, and this is another situation where I believe that when I thought about impact, I think about the fact that the 2 players that were slated to start in front of him are injured. They're not coming back until, I believe, after their bye week, sometime after week 6. So he right now is stated to be a potential starter for a day 1 starter for the Miami Dolphins. 6'3", 254 pounds, outside linebacker / edge. I look forward to Chop Robinson using kind of his combination of speed and strength to blow up the line, man. Get in the backfield and have a day. Moving on, number 3, Byron Murphy the second. This is somebody who, Broder, you dropped him on the radar during draft coverage, and it's a player that I think is going to absolutely be a menace on the defensive line for the Seahawks. The defensive tackle, 6 foot, so he's not the tallest, but 306 pounds, but has this weird mix of strength and explosive speed despite that frame. And he's somebody that already in his first preseason game, you saw that offensive lines and the way they had to scheme against him, he was already causing havoc, doubles and triple teams, and still getting into the backfield. There's some things to clean up, but I believe, again, this is one of those fits for me, those team fits. What the Ravens will do for Nate Wiggins, I definitely believe that Mike McDonald's defense, which already is high on the potential of Byron Murphy, I believe that this is a combination that's going to work for him, man. And I like what he did already in that first preseason game. Word to Flannel, though, I'm going to try and temper the preseason laps. Latu. This was a tough one for me. I think I sprinkled a little Kool-Aid on my list.
You did.
I had to. I know. And I'll put that out. I wear it proudly. Like, look, the Kool-Aid shirt. It's ever so appropriately. Latu is a guy that I do believe, just kind of looking at the situation that he's in right now with the Colts and the fact that they drafted him to be their quarterback eater, and seeing what he did in college, everything that we covered about him on this show as well, not just one segment, but he popped up multiple shows. I definitely believe on the defensive line that has 3 players, I believe, had 8 or more sacks last season, I think he has the potential to really push them over the top and be that guy that is not just demanding double teams, but still producing. That's what I believe that Latu is going to be, an absolute force in the backfield. Probably deserves to be number 1 on the list, but I don't care. It's my list.
It's all right.
So we put Terrion Arnold up there. This is a guy that KG was high on the entire draft process. You even said you wouldn't mind trading up for him. Broder broke the news draft night that the Detroit Lions are going to aggressively pursue this guy. Now, why do you do that? Why? Because when we were looking at his stats in college, one thing you wanted to continue to remind people of, KG, is that he just wasn't getting tested.
Yeah.
And then you see him in the NFL in his first preseason game. I'm not going to take the laps, but you see, you know what? Maybe the reputation will follow him to the NFL. And if he can be that guy, think about how bad we've been in the secondary. So if he can be that type of guy here with the Detroit Lions, I think that totally transforms this Detroit Lions defense. Generally, we think about it the other way around. The defensive line is definitely going to aid the secondary, but if you got a guy like Terrion Arnold who can absolutely use his IQ and his speed, his coverage ability to lock down a portion of the field and literally be sub-zero, then I think he will have an opportunity by the season's end to lay claim to being the #1 impactful defensive player.
Imagine if this actually plays out that way and Terrion Arnold is the #1 rookie defensive player, which would give him Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This is a 13-14 win team. Easy.
Yeah.
And I'm not calling for them to be a 13-14 win team. It's just putting Terrion Arnold as the #1 impact rookie. I think where I have him personally is a little bit more realistic, with all due respect, but it's not crazy to say that he could be #1, especially if he's a rookie starter. So I don't mind this list. I'm obviously higher on Quinyon Mitchell than a Nate Wiggins. I would have probably put a Dallas Turner over Chop Robinson, but I don't hate it. The best part is we gonna see.
Yeah,
I love it.
But those were my honorable mentions.
Sure,
too, though.
sure.
Those were my honorable mentions. And just a little bit more homerism. Mike Sanders still as an honorable mention. I know that the Washington Commanders, they're calling him a special player. They're calling him a leader. And how do we measure impact? Yes, you want to see that production on the field, but in terms of the type of voice that they already said he is and the type of worker and the type of leader that he is already, I like Mikey Sanders still, and I'm going to definitely keep an eye on our Gold Blue product all season long. Definitely.
Absolutely. How about we take this to break and then have Matt Broder give his list, because I am looking forward to seeing this one. But tell us about Lady Jane's Kool-Aid.
Lad McConkey's going to be #1, and that's going to be
awesome.
Lad McConkey, impact defender. Yeah, baby. He impacts the defense.
It don't matter. He played both sides of the ball. It don't matter.
He brings the best out of Junior Colson, right?
Oh, man. Hey, you know what? Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's awesome, man. Look, when you can just stop in, sit back, relax, and feel good and look great because of Lady Jane's talented hair stylist. You got to get in here, man. They're open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had to spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back with 10 plus years of experience and 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you, and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. Thank you for kicking off today with the WUW Crew. Go on ahead and smash that like button. Mike G says for Impact Rookies. Go ahead and smash that like button. Thank you guys for being here. There's a lot of people in the chats, and I get it. They're excited for Detroit Lions.
Baby.
We're going to talk Lions, huh, brother?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk Lions.
Bitch.
There you go. Hey, the Shaquille Oatmeal. He gave his top 5 defensive impact rookies. He says, number 1, Ennis Rakestraw. Number 2, Dallas Turner. Number 3, Jared Verse. Number 4, Terrion Arnold. Number 5, Chop Robinson.
This is why I'm surprised ain't nobody put Jared Verse on their list, but I think he got a chance to really break it open, man. Braden Fisk and Kobe Turner in the middle, Jared Verse off the edge. I feel like he can have a good year, man, but that's just me.
Hey, let's rock. And you know what? We got to get the man. We got to get Mr. Broder. Got to get your tape. Let's rock.
Get the people started.
Hey, you know what? Before you go, people, put your top 5 impact defensive rookies as well. We want to be able to read you guys' list, give you guys a platform. Let's rock.
Yeah, and let me know if I get an A minus, or A plus. JB, send it. Ironic you said that, KG, because there's your boy,
Jared Verse. There we go. Okay.
Real quick, honorable mention to Tyrese Knight. I've been reading about this guy for the last couple weeks. He's turning some heads in Seattle and may earn the starting linebacker job. I think of him in the Ivan Pace category, just kind of an athletic freak, a little bit undersized, but goes and gets to play for Mike McDonald in that Seahawks new defensive system. I see him doing some things, especially with Byron Murphy, the second in front of him. But for my number 5, Malik Mustafa. Now, he still has to go out and win the starting role, which he's rumored to be in the mix of. And if it doesn't happen week 1, he may earn it pretty soon. But to me, when I think of impact defender, Malik Mustafa could be that type of guy on San Francisco. Like, I don't think of the 49ers, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're incredibly talented, and they have been for the last couple of years, but I feel like they've been missing that edge, that nastiness, that kind of intimidation factor outside of just being a talented, well-built, well-run team. Malik Mustafa, this dude hits hard. He attacks the ball. He has that nasty demeanor. So I think he can impact the 49ers, who are lacking a little bit in their front 7 this year. They lost some players. I think he can make a difference if he gets on the field. I don't know if you guys saw, he had a monster hit in their first preseason game, just coming up and I forget who it was, but tackling the running back behind the line of scrimmage on a 4th and 1. Malik Mustafa out of Wake Forest. Keep an eye on him. Tyke Smith. He looks to be earning the starting nickel role on the same secondary as Antoine Winfield Jr., Zion McCollum. Who else is on there? Jamel Dean, Jordan Whitehead, and we know they have a great front 7. Tyke Smith has been getting rave reviews from a bunch of Buccaneers beat reporters and writers, but also their coaching staff, saying he comes in and he feels like a 7 to 8 year vet. I just see what they've done with Antoine Winfield Jr. and being able to learn from him. Tyke Smith, he's a name to keep an eye on. Out of Georgia, by the way. Versatile. Jared Verse, speaking of versatile, Jared Verse out of Florida State with the Rams. They lost Aaron Donald, but I think Jared Verse, alongside Braden Fisk, Kobe Turner, Byron Young, Bobby Brown, in a hopefully slightly improved secondary with Darius Williams, Tre'Davious White, Cameron Curl, Cameron Kitchens also. I think Jared Verse, who sat out their first preseason game and is expected to be their starting outside linebacker edge rusher, I think he can make a huge impact for that defense. Terrion Arnold at number 2.
Yeah.
I love the points you guys already made, so I won't go into much depth, but I think with everything done on this Lions defense and the fact that they have Carlton Davis and depth in the secondary, I see Terrion Arnold winning the starting job on day 1 opposite Carlton Davis. And for this team, his impact, the impact of a stronger the impact of him, a future lockdown cornerback, I think he can make more of a difference as a rookie cornerback than I'd normally expect of rookie cornerback. So that's why he's at number 2 for the Lions. And at number 1,
man,
Jeremiah Trotter Jr. on that, they're loaded with new names, new talent. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. arguably had their best preseason game. Take that for what it is. He's expected to be their starting middle linebacker as a rookie. Like, he's playing like his dad already. That's the word out of camp. He's playing like his dad, the Axeman, who was a star for the Eagles and the Redskins out of Washington. he's looked incredible. You put him, you pair him with that front seven. I know Jalix Hunt's another rookie who's emerging, but we're talking Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Bryce Huff, Devin White. Nolan Smith might be getting better. And a stronger secondary with Ringo, CJ GJ, Reed Blankenship, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. All they're missing is just that sideline to sideline, do-it-all middle linebacker. They got it in Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Not good for the NFC if he emerges.
It's funny, when I looked at the list, I didn't see the junior on Jeremiah Trotter at first. I'm like, bro, his dad been out the league for a while. But no, this is a good list.
Jeremiah Trotter Jr. at 1 is certainly a choice.
Yeah, it is.
You could honestly come back in the offseason and give us all the finger. It's just, with Jeremiah Trotter, if it actually works out, with Jeremiah Trotter Jr., I mean, you're basically calling for an Ivan Pace season, but maybe even a little bit better.
I'm calling for a better than Ivan Pace season out of him because of where he fits on that Eagles defense, which I expect to be improved. Vic Fangio, who doesn't say much good things about rookies, he's saying good things about him. I just see him not getting lost in the shuffle, but him just doing what he does with those athletes around him, I think could lead to a floor of that Ivan Pace season. I think he could be one of the better starting middle linebackers as a rookie we've seen in a long time.
Let me ask you this question, though.
Hit me.
Is he going to be Luke Trotter Jr. or Jeremiah Keekly? Which one?
You are silly, man.
Luke Trotter Jr.
I had to do it.
Hey, we got a couple chat submissions as well. Ed O'Neill, top 5 impact. He says number 1, Terrion. Number 2, Murphy. Number 3, Turner. Number 4, Wiggins. Number 5, Ennis Rakestraw. And DNC ENT. Number 5, Chop Robinson. Number 4, Terrion Arnold. Number 3, Jared Verse. Number 2, Dallas Turner. Number 1, Latu. Hey, it's cool to see the chat family get in on it as well. They were engaged throughout the entire segment too.
I'd love to hear if JB and KG have any opinions. But real quick, did you guys consider Mekhi Wingo at all? And or how close was Ennis Rakestraw to your top 5?
Ennis Rakestraw was in my honorable mentions. Word to that dude Justin, who's doing a great job with the fan club, man. Great job. Ennis Rakestraw. What is it? Nightmare on Rake Street?
Nightmare on Rake Street, Rakers Island, and then we're Rakestraw Army.
He doesn't have a mic.
Rakestraw Army, Rakers Island. Let's rock, man.
He wasn't close to my list, and he doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Chill, everybody.
Spicy.
You know what?
Talk your shit.
If I don't have Rakestraw top 5, no, I'm kidding, obviously, but no, Ennis Rakestraw. I'm not even sure if he starts.
Yuck.
I think he's going to be a good, efficient rookie with a few growing pains, but I don't think he's going to get the run that Terrion Arnold does. And there's going to be a lot of rookie cornerbacks like Quinyon Mitchell, like a Nate Wiggins, hell, maybe even Kool-Aid McKinstry or Kamari Lassiter, who may start. They might not all look good, but to me, I don't think Ennis Rakestraw is going to get the usage to be as impactful to be in the top 5, maybe not even the top 10. I'd probably have him amongst my 12th to 17th most impactful rookies, and that's okay, by the way.
Hey, if he can still make plays, though.
If he does that in Terrion's top 5, this is an improved secondary.
Yeah.
Hey, John F. and Laura said Rakestraw hater.
You're not invited to Rakers Island.
I guess not. Now I can never root for him again, ever. That's the rules, right? No, it's okay.
But I look forward to it. I know you were trying to talk about Ennis Rakestraw as well, KG, but I do. I think about the fact that so far what we've heard is that he's a playmaker and that he's a physical presence in the secondary, and that's what ultimately has thrived in these secondaries for the Detroit Lions. We haven't had a whole lot of great to write home about, but what they're forming right now, it'd be interesting if he does get the opportunities, because I know that is part of your caveat. You said you don't know if he's going to get the usage, but if he gets the opportunity, I do think that he will be a playmaker.
Yeah. Nah, and this is tough. Broder, your list, I do like the fact that you did research and what's going on in camp and in the preseasons and stuff like that. But I mean, there are some guys on that list that would be kind of a reach, man.
Oh yeah.
Kool-Aid, I think that your list is probably the most slept on here, but I think Sam has the best list out of everybody.
Thank you.
I do.
I appreciate that.
And you know what? We got another submission from the chat family. Mason Leach, one of the regulars, number 5. He has Wingo. Number 4, Mikey Sanders still. Number 3, Ennis Rakestraw. Number 2, Junior Colson. Number 1, Terrion Arnold.
This is, with all due respect, the most homer list I've ever seen. And I think he's doing it on purpose.
Most definitely.
I think he's doing it on purpose. So you got you got how many Lions players? 3 Lions players and 2 former Michigan players.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm glad somebody else said it.
And with all due respect, if Mekhi Wingo is on your top 5,
Yeah.
Don't hate on the list. You've been so positive today. You've been so positive today.
What am I doing?
Shout out to Tony D. He said Mason Leach, great list.
Stop it.
No biases, right?
Come on. No bias whatsoever. You're just looking objectively at the players and the prospects and just giving your opinion. Come on, Mason Leach. You know what you're doing. And I hope that they're all great. If this actually turns out the way that it is, we can all victory lap the F out of everything because it means the Lions are probably winning the Super Bowl and Michigan would have had one of the best draft classes ever.
You heard it here first. Flannel Sam said it. You heard it here first. The most prepared man in the world. He just told you the Detroit Lions are winning the Super Bowl.
That's what I said. Hey, you know what? Maybe I am, though.
Hey.
I would predict him.
You know what? We got a lot more Lions talk, sports talk in general on the way. I can't wait to get into these next segments. But thank you guys for staying tapped in with Wake Up Woodward every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I hope you guys are smashing that like button. If you haven't, go on ahead and hit that. And after our show, stay tapped in, hit that. After our show, stay tapped in with the rest of Woodward Sports. You got Big D Energy from 11 to 1, 4-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty alongside his co-host, the Golden Voice, Neil Rule. After that, Armando Edwards with Maz from 2 to 4. You got Maz, you got University of Michigan legend and former NFL wide receiver Braylon Edwards, and Detroit Media King Fox 2 Ryan Armani. Then Woodward heavyweights from 5 to 7. In the day with the big fellas. Spin more racks, speak easy, baby. Their elite booth. You got Nick Koloff, Chris Platty. I know they got Joe, Caleb, and the whole cast and crew of Woodward heavyweights. Thank you guys for supporting them as well as all of Woodward Sports Network and making us your number 1 digital sports outlet.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at RandyWiseChevy.com.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. It's 24/7 professional monitoring, so you can call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you as long as needed because it is technology that is backed by people in your safety and security. It deserves technology that's been proven to work and people have been proven to care. All you got to do is call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. And welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. It's been a heck of a show. The chat has been very, very engaged. Let's zoom right on through that like goal today. Let's definitely do that. And Mason Lee, he said that his list was 100% biased, and he put the laughing emoji. Hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Hey, say you're biased with your chest and stand by it. It's Detroit Lions season, man.
What
Drink
about this
all
list?
the Kool-Aid that you want.
What about this list from Mitten Maid?
Number 1, Stallions. Number 2,
Stallions.
Counter Stallions. Number 4, Stallions. Number 5, Stallions.
Because he spits hot fire.
I love when this happens. When people like Mitten Maid post that. we can put an asterisk next to that because Stallions is spelled with one L. Asterisk.
Look at Broder. Look at Broder.
Right?
Look at
grammar police out here.
That's that Go Blue.
Everyone's so quick to put on my school an asterisk on my school's
where'd you go to
national championship. I'll put it on your spelling mistake.
Where were you educated?
University of Michigan.
Hey, it shows. It shows. Hey, and you know what? The keys to wisdom. You got someone who agrees with you. Sam is right. Wingo is not list material. The Lions DTs were awesome against the run last year, and he has a lot better guys in front of him. I just want to make sure that we read the support.
No, and that's okay, by the way. If Mekhi Wingo is just a rotational guy who helps the team and is smart and disciplined, it'll be a good pick, being a 6th rounder. I don't expect him to make a huge impact this year. And by the way, that is more than okay.
Yeah, and you know what? I know we're going to get into some overrated, underrated debate topics here. I'm excited about this, especially after Broder hit me up yesterday like, hey, bro, what do you think about this topic?
Man.
I know he hit the group. I was like, yo, let's rock. I do want to get things started before I throw it over to Broder. And let's get a poll going in the chat. Let's start with a chat initiated over or underrated. Overrated, underrated. Is the MLB steroid era overrated or underrated? Let's definitely go ahead and get you guys' engagement in. But Mr. Matthew Broder, let's kick this thing off.
Yeah, overrated, underrated. I got an athlete from each of the 4 major sports. This one, although his career is focused outside of Detroit, he does have a Detroit connection. That's Allen Iverson. This was spawned by some comments made from Flannel yesterday on Big DE.
I already know.
Inspired this segment. So I won't even remind him what you said, Flannel. I'll just start with you. Overrated, underrated, or rated just right. Allen, the answer, Iverson.
Do this right, Flannel.
Overrated.
AI?
AI is
yes,
overrated.
bro.
It's
He don't understand.
No, but
You had to be there.
Wait.
I was there, dude.
Clearly you wasn't there.
Hold on. Wait,
Clearly you was not.
I don't know what I missed, but for some reason I thought he was gonna go underrated because I didn't see this.
No, bro.
I'm utterly.
You know Sam don't like fun.
I'm a little flabbergasted.
You know
right
he
now.
don't like fun.
Hold on. All right. I gotta listen.
And I want to be very, very clear. Even though Sean Baligian says you can't do this, you can do this. Allen Iverson is a Hall of Famer, 100%, no doubt about it. But he's still overrated because he gets put in conversations he doesn't belong. He's, to me, one of the, I would say, 35th to 50th best players who ever played. He's nowhere near the top 20. He's certainly not in anybody's top 10. Here's why. And I'll try to be as brief as possible. Allen Iverson was a solo act. He never mastered the team aspect of basketball. And how that's borne out is through his numbers. Through his career with the Philadelphia 76ers, he's a 42% shooter from the floor and 31% from 3. And those 42% is on 22 attempts per game. He was incredibly inefficient. He didn't have the size to be able to finish at the rim as to more physically gifted NBA players, but yet he still didn't do a good enough job of involving his teammates as he should have. He's only a 6 assists per game guy. And in the playoffs for his career, he shoots a lifetime 40% on 27 attempts per game. That is shooting your team out of games. I understand he had that run in 2001, which was phenomenal, but also 33% from 3 on 5 attempts per game in the playoffs. Allen Iverson was a solo act. He wasn't efficient enough, and he didn't master the team art of basketball the way a similar little man in Isaiah Thomas did. So therefore, his style was just not conducive to winning besides for that 1 year. That's why besides for that 1 year, they only won three playoff series. And by the way, these numbers are just with him in Philadelphia. When he got to Denver, his efficiency did go up. But Allen Iverson, because of his cultural impact, because of his, crossovers and all that, he gets overrated. Allen Iverson is overrated.
What? Listen, and you know what I say to the analytical era? I've been waiting for the right conversation to say this. No, I'm for real. Not that they don't matter, but when you have them, they matter to the entire era, including the players.
Yes.
Nobody can tell me that if Allen Iverson was born in the analytics era, that he would not be a more efficient player. I believe he would be. He had the skill set to do so. But the era that he came from, and sometimes it's one of those, you had to be there. You had to be there. That was the era of it's king-ish. Who is your man versus my man? And they did battle. Every playoffs, that's how it was built. It didn't care in that era about what your team was except for how their defensive rotations were. When it got down to it, during those eras, it was mano a mano. Allen Iverson versus who? What are you going to do? And that's what it was. We saw that with every other star in the league during that era. And that's how teams were built and set up. And there was a lot of inefficient numbers. There's people who try to say Kobe was inefficient, and you look at a game, you're like, yo, he's completely controlling the entire game. I don't care. Throw the inefficiency out the window. And Allen Iverson had that type. Allen Iverson had that type of effect, bro. Allen Iverson had that type of effect. He was one of those guys that could absolutely take over the game and had defenses just discombobulated. And it's not like he just had like the best rosters around him. He didn't have the best rosters around him. Philly did not do best by AI.
That's fair, but let me just say this. I don't like iso ball. I don't think it was a good era of basketball. I like what we see now, where it's more of like a team game. I like
what?
Like for
iso.
Hold on. Let me give you examples of players who played with lesser talent in their early careers but mastered the team game. You look at Michael Jordan and LeBron James, and obviously nobody is talking about Allen Iverson on their level, but one of the reasons is because Michael Jordan, even in the early years where they didn't win, was an incredibly proficient and efficient player. LeBron James early on was an incredibly efficient and proficient player that more so got their teammates involved more effectively. Allen Iverson was not good at getting good looks for himself or his teammates. Was he great? Was he flashy? Was he fun to watch? Did he have a lot of success? Absolutely. But I think a lot of that a lot of players will say that Allen Iverson is their favorite player, and it's just like that makes him overrated. He's one of the I would say 35 to 50th best players ever.
But people do not select their best players just because of where they may rank on the top 50 list. It's also because of the impact that player makes. And at that time, just to be honest with what Allen Iverson represented, was making sure that a culture of Black America that people tried to say was ghetto or was this or didn't belong on this same level. He was somebody who said, no, absolutely, you can wear your culture and be proud to be who you are. And I'm not saying that you were taking a shot at that. I'm just saying as to why some people would say Allen Iverson is my favorite player, because a lot of people from, listen, man, I spent a lot of time on Glendale where my grandparents grew up, stayed on Penrod, stayed on Roxbury. And there's a lot of people that you recognize that say, you know what, I can identify with his struggle. I can identify with his lifestyle and his phase of life. And so that's why people would say he's that guy that I look up to as my number one. Man, I had a lot of family members that did the same too, especially down south, man. Especially down south. AI was big. Yeah. As a player, I get it. And if we're just talking about the style of basketball we like, yeah. And I'm glad that you put it on the era. I'm glad you put it on there that you said, you know what, that era of basketball was just one that you didn't like because it was that. And I can appreciate that take because I like team ball. I like passing it around. I like making sure we can try and put our players in the best possible spot to succeed. And our best teams of all time, one of them is going to be that 2004 Pistons team, which a lot of people say is one of the best teams of all time, regardless of sports, because they were able to be a team so good that they were able to knock out those heavily loaded kind of, ISO type guys. And so I agree with you on those benefits, but as it relates to AI, is just a player in that era, he dominated and pulled some pretty, in my opinion, some pretty weak teams to some higher spots than they would have been otherwise. And that just was basketball during that time. It wasn't frowned on that he was that player. It was just, he just hit for another 40. He just hit for another 40. You look at his scoring, it's just like this guy was going out there and single-handedly in the era where scoring was a little down, representing like a third to sometimes a half of his team scoring every single night.
And on probably half of the shots. But go ahead, KG.
The man is rated just right. Nobody sits up here and calls him the greatest. Nobody calls him the greatest point guard ever or anything like that. And he really wasn't even a point guard. He was a two guard playing a point guard position. But I think it was just the era of basketball. If you want to point to his efficiency numbers, that's fine. But he didn't need to shoot the three very, very well in that era of basketball, man. But it's the things he did on the court, and he also changed the game of basketball, man. It became more of a handles game. It became more about playmaking when people like Allen Iverson stepped foot on the court. And just from a cultural aspect, we wouldn't have the NBA that we have today without Allen Iverson. So he to me, he transcends the game to a certain degree. And
culturally, almost like the Fab Five of college.
Exactly. And then even Sam said it. Once he got marginally more help in Denver, his numbers did come up. So, like I said, he's not. Nobody sits up here and calls him the greatest point guard ever. But you do need to mention his name when you bring up the top 5, the top 10 point guards ever. his name needs to be mentioned.
But you did a good job at least segmenting or sectioning out why you feel the way you do. And you know what? It's going to pull up my strings anytime you bring up our guy, Isaiah Thomas Zeke, because you're right. That was a guy who could do it with volume, with efficiency, while also making sure to spread the wealth around. He was a guy that, in my opinion, during that era, you weren't really getting a lot of guards that were doing it the way that Isaiah Thomas was doing it, which made him very, very special, especially as one of the game's premier little men. You know, Isaiah Thomas, and that's why I believe he's more or less like Allen Iverson's more or less rated like just right. Do you believe he is a Hall of Famer?
Absolutely.
Oh,
100%.
100%.
Yeah. I just want to say one thing real quick. You said he was not top 50, which is crazy.
No, I did not say that. I said he was between like 35
he said he was top
and 50.
30. Yeah.
Like between 35
That's
and
fair.
50.
That's fair.
35 and 50.
Yeah. So there has been 36 players all time who have won an MVP. Are you trying to tell me that he is the absolute bottom tier of MVPs in this league?
Ooh. He's amongst it. For real, because we're talking about guys like Bird, we're talking about Magic, we're talking about MJ, we're talking about LeBron, we're talking about Kareem. I mean, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaq, Kobe.
I would say that's fair.
When you really list it all down, he is amongst one of the worst MVPs ever. And I didn't even mention a few because it's off the top of my head.
But even all those MVPs had way more help than he had in his MVP season. He was carrying that 76ers team.
Well, but they only made one playoff run. That's the thing. And during that playoff run, actually, Theo Ratliff and Dikembe Mutombo were all-stars. I'm not saying that they were world beaters, but they were a very, very good defensive team. And every single game that the Philadelphia 76ers won in that playoffs, besides for game one of Los Angeles, of the Lakers series, the Philadelphia 76ers held their opponent to less than 100 points. And in the majority of those games in those series, they allowed their opponents to less than 90. I'm not saying that he had this great team to work around, but Aaron McKie was better than you think. Dikembe Mutombo was a multiple-time All-Star. Theo Ratliff was an All-Star. And Allen Iverson didn't know how to utilize his teammates well enough because a lot of the times the looks that he was taking were not the best looks for the team, to me.
Hey, and I'm gonna let you talk real quick, but somebody just said something else that just absolutely tugs on my heartstrings. Some of my content that went to craziest on like socials over the years was this one. China Virus says Zeke is better than Stockton. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
oh,
yes,
not even
come on now.
Man, how is that even a discussion?
Man,
but
because people be trying to make it a discussion.
I know, man, but it just you are somebody that hates Dikembe Mutombo. So the fact that you are using him for your narrative is crazy to me right now.
He's a good defensive
We
player.
are talking about a washed Dikembe Mutombo.
A fossil.
This is thank you.
Fossil.
He was old as shit by the time he got to the 76ers, man. He was not making any real impact.
This is tough.
I'm sorry, man.
What were the stats?
You have been on record as dissing Dikembe Mutombo.
He's
so
not a
using
Hall of
him in this
Famer,
argument
but he
is
was
crazy.
an impactful defensive player at that time. He was a two-time All-Star with the 76ers.
You drag Eric Snow and Aaron McKie to the goddamn finals and win a game against Kobe and Shaq's Lakers.
Aaron McKie was Sixth Man of the Year that year. I know you guys didn't know that, but that happened. Eric Snow led the team in assists.
I remember those years.
Come on,
I remember
bro.
those years.
Oh my God, what are we talking about here?
But it's just a lot of those guys when they leave. What are those guys after Iverson?
I understand, but Allen Iverson didn't make anybody better. Come on.
And you talk about they didn't have a run. And you talk about they didn't have a run after that. Of course they didn't. They was a fucking bubblegum team.
They won 3 playoff series
together
with
playoff with paper clips, man. Come on.
But that's why Allen Iverson is one of the 35 to 50 greatest players ever and no higher. That's why.
Apparently Samuel Dallenberg is Shaq.
Breaking news, that's what I said. No.
All right, I forgot about Sam Dallenberg, man. What are we talking about, bro?
But you guys are acting like I said.
I used to be so jealous of him, like as a prospect for like the first 2 years, and then I was like, eh.
Just saying he's overrated. If you say he's overrated, you are pretty much saying Kobe is overrated.
Well, I do think
if you're going just off efficiency numbers,
that feels weird. Ooh, JB Smooth.
That hurt. That hurt. God. that hurt saying that Kobe's overrated. Let's not get into that conversation right now. Let's not do that.
Brother knew what he was doing.
I hated
Where's
Kobe.
your face,
He's not
brother?
overrated. I was not a Kobe fan.
Where's your face, brother?
This is wild, bro.
He's a menace.
You guys should see the rest of the list.
Oh my gosh,
that was the first player.
Let's pay some bills.
Wait, hold on. I have one more thing. Because I just looked up some MVPs and
Wait, no, hold on. Let's pay the bill. Save it. I want that fire right after.
All right.
Where do we gotta go?
Yeah, this is still the first person. Let's go to Swiss, though.
Let's do that. Save that. I want that heat. Y'all stay tapped in. Hit that like button for whatever that dude Justin is about to say, man. And this is in response to Flannel.
Yes.
Oh, hey, stay tapped in. Now more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure your current carrier is not slipping in any extra fees.
Over or underrated, did it decide.
or raising your deductibles. All you got to do, call Mark at Swiss today, 313-530-1698. Visit them online, swissins.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
Merch. Head over to WoodwardSports.com. Click on that shop tab. We are dropping new designs every single week, getting you prepared for this upcoming season. We got the Stoked Not Scared shirts, which I hope you're wearing right now, which I hope you are fully behind, even though the Lions have a few bang-ups and a few injuries. Don't worry about it. It's still Stoked Not Scared season. We got the hashtag Boo Them Kids out right now that you should be wearing once we face those Rams, those Matthew Stafford Rams. And you can't forget about the Woodward Tigers as well, too. Season's kind of ending, but hey, you still got to support them. You still got to love. Forever, Pookie. Forever. Head over to WoodwardSports.com. Click on that shop tab. Get swagged out. Season's almost here, baby.
Y'all already know, man. What up, though? Welcome back
Pookie.
to Wake Up Woodward. We got to add Hawk Tour Girl to the lineup, man. Definitely.
Legend.
We got to see this showdown. Two Hawk Tour Girl, Lizzie from Canton. We got Crystal with an X. We got Broder's Harem. We got to make sure we continue to update that list. Don't let it plateau. Don't let it plateau. And y'all, if you got some suggestions for Broder's Harem, definitely send them on in. Look at Broder over there.
Broder's so uncomfortable.
Smash that like button. Support the WUW Crew. We got the entire crew in the building. We got that dude Justin in the chair. He's a little fired up right now, man. We're talking AI. We're talking overrated, underrated. And this is a segment that I believe Broder has to stick around. What up, though?
100%. And my issue with Flannel is he is underrating Allen Iverson because he said that he is 35 to top 50, and I brought up the stat. There's 36 different MVPs that have been in the NBA of all time. So we're just going to go through a couple MVPs that, by Flannel's logic, would most likely be better than.
Let's do it.
What about Bob Pettit and Bob Cousy? They couldn't even touch Allen Iverson's
ball.
I'm
not gonna discuss that era because I'll just be honest. Basketball was a different game back then. So.
All right, so let's
if
go
you
to the common era.
AI is better than
let's go to the common era. Derrick Rose.
Oh, AI is certainly better than Derrick Rose.
Okay,
duh.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose is the worst MVP ever. No, not the season in terms of career.
Okay,
in terms of career.
That's fair.
Yes.
And then I don't know if I necessarily am full on board with this one, but I don't, from the same cloth of efficiency, Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
AI is better than Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
AI is better than Russell Westbrook.
All right. So those two are obviously top 50 players. I would like you to retract and at least do top 30 to top 40. Because that seems like that is the correct placement for AI.
So you think he's a little underrated then?
Yeah, I think he's a little underrated. I think Sam is underrating him. I think that top 50 is way too far out. I think once you get down to the nitty-gritty, you start looking at players that... Because in that early era of basketball, the Bob Cousy's, the Bob Pettits, they couldn't do anything in this era. They wouldn't even be NBA players. They'd be plumbers. Like, no offense.
There we go.
Straight up. Like, those guys are not on my top 50 list.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to be on that list. Like, those dudes would have a chance to do something in this this new NBA.
Yeah.
But Bob Cousy and Bob Pettit have no chance. So, I just think that, Sam, I know it's, picking straws out of a haystack. It's not necessarily the most critical for you to move them up 10 spots, but in terms of NBA all-time list, 10 spots is a pretty big deal.
But you said between 30 and 40. I wouldn't have any problem if you said he's the 35th best player of all time. It's just for every player that you mentioned, I can give you Dwayne Wade, I can give you Luka Doncic, and I can give you
Luka Doncic over AI right now is
100%.
crazy.
Dwayne, it's not crazy. Luka Doncic is better than AI, 100%. Luka Doncic is a more efficient player, and he's reached the heights that Allen Iverson has.
He has more help. He's Kyrie Irving.
It's a different era.
Okay,
of
fine, but
too,
it's not crazy. Luka Doncic, at least on a per game basis, clears AI. He just needs a little more longevity. Come on,
he needs the longevity though. You are king longevity, and he has had none. He's what, a 5-year career so far?
I'd still take him over AI. What about Dwayne Wade? Dwayne Wade never won an MVP.
I would take Dwayne Wade because Dwayne Wade plays winning basketball. Straight up.
And he won a championship by being the guy.
Yeah. Yes.
In an era where LeBron James said it couldn't be done.
Yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki choked that series, by the way. Nobody ever talks about that. He shot 25% from three and 39% from the floor. I'm just saying.
But Wade was also otherworldly.
Of course.
Shout out to the refs.
Dirk made up for it 5 years later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another one, never won an MVP, but is clearly better than Allen Iverson. Kawhi Leonard, better than Allen Iverson. Kawhi Leonard's way more of a winning player.
Yeah, I mean, the Kawhi we got right now, I don't know. It's debatable, man.
One of those social contents. This would be a great one for socials, Justin.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's debatable for sure.
Kawhi has had uber amount of help every single place he's gone in his career. Even Toronto, he still had loaded roster. Like that team was so deep, so defensively sound. They were clamping the Warriors, even though they had a little bit of injuries. Like they still played remarkable defense. I don't know if AI had that Raptors team, they would have won a chip.
I don't believe that because AI didn't know how to involve his teammates. He never learned that part of basketball. That's all I'm saying.
But his efficiency went up in Denver.
It did go up in Denver, but they won more with Chauncey. I'm just saying that Allen Iverson, I'll give him credit for 0-1, but he was not a winning player. Kawhi Leonard is a winning player, at least in his prime he was, and I still believe he can be. It's just...
Tell that to Grant Hill.
For real.
Shout out USA Olympic basketball winning the gold medal.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And AI is probably arguably the best ball handler of all time, man.
Oh yeah,
only Kyrie Irving is up there really rivaling him in terms of that.
That's why I said the argument being about the efficiency or the analytics in an era where nobody was focused on that, nobody was helping them develop or to train with that. But you got players today who get the benefit of not just their entire development from youth being analytics and trying to be put in the best spot to succeed. That's why you see the heat maps, the shooting maps of the NBA over time. Look at it now. It's at the rim and three-point shots. Why? Because these kids are being coached a lot differently, and they're now knowing what they have to actually work on. What AI knew is every time he stepped out there on the court, nobody could defend him. Yep. And that's how basketball was back then. So you took your elite trait and you carried your team to the top during that era of basketball. But you got players today with the ability to not just learn the analytical side of it, but they're also picking from one of the most revolutionary players of the game ever in AI. They're learning his moves. They're taking his crossovers. They're taking his stuff, and they're able to add that to a benefit during this era that AI just didn't have. And that, to me, is what kind of skews it just a little bit. He was doing it with a whole lot less at his disposal, not just team-wise, but development-wise, knowledge of the game-wise, than what players today actually have. Were there some during his eras and before that transcended? And they were, at that time, the truly special. But today, every guard, it seemed like, got some ability to kind of make, score, shoot the three, and whatnot.
Allen Iverson is also a better finisher than Flannel gives him credit for.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that he's a bad finisher. I'm just saying when you're that physically limited, you're going to have some trouble finishing at the rim. You just are. And that's all that it is. It's not a pound-for-pound game. One of the reasons why LeBron James and Shaq are all-time greats is because they're 1 in a trillion physical freaks, and Allen Iverson was
here's
not.
one for you. Combo guards, right?
Yeah.
AI, Joe Dumars.
AI.
I got to go AI.
Yeah. AI.
I have got AI.
Dumars' defense, man.
I know. I wanted to say
you got
Dumars.
AJ, who said the best defender
I wanted to say
ever.
Dumars.
Joe D do not have that offensive output that AI had, though.
You're right.
I wanted to say Dumars, but I couldn't. It's AI.
Yeah, and Dakota Mullet said, Broder, are you in timeout at WSN? No, see, look, I snapped the picture. I snapped the picture of the bad man. I already sent it to JB. Maybe you guys will see it at some point in time in the show. But I had to. He knows what he did.
Real quick, I see people in the chat bringing up White Chocolate Jason Williams. He's in the top 5. No, they talk about as far as like ball handlers, best ball handlers ever.
Oh, yeah, definitely top 5.
Jamal Crawford and White Chocolate is in probably the top 5, but I wouldn't put them over Allen Iverson because he was kind of ahead of his time.
And you talking about ball handlers?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. There were players that came kind of later that were able to pick up off of the things that were brand new. People were like, what the heck is this? How do I even defend what this guy's doing?
Now, what Kyrie Irving does in today's game, he might surpass AI one day in that category. I just give AI the edge because he was like an innovator in that sense. So,
yeah. Hey. Oh, man. Hey, put the camera on, brother, man.
Me?
Look at this guy. Look at this troublemaker.
You're right. Damn, if that was the first one, I'm scared to hear these other ones, man. We got deep on that one.
I think we need to do like one a day.
Said Kool-Aid, people are sleeping on Joe D's midi game, I see. Joe Dumars might have to be one. He might have to be one because he is one of the greats.
No, he is.
Oh,
he don't get a lot of credit. He don't.
Goodness gracious. Overrated, underrated. Allen Iverson, Broder, do you have anything else? Any other logs to throw on that fire?
Nope. I mean, with a team that features Raja Bell, Matt Geiger, Tyrone Hill, Pepe Sanchez, Eric Snow, George Lynch, and Speedy Claxton.
That was pre-Phoenix Raja Bell, too. So it's like, come on, man.
I'm surprised that he passed the ball as much as he did.
For real.
Who needs practice?
I'm talking about practice.
Rather pass the ball to one of those guys sometimes and shoot 40%. That's all I'm saying.
Moral of the story for me, I think he's rated just right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man. You know what?
And Philly loves him.
Of course they do. As they should.
Is there another player we can tee up?
Nope. Not in the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, we'll go too long, man. I almost feel like we just pay the bills.
Yeah.
We'll get into what's cooking a little early. Man, I like that. Overrated, underrated. Broder, you mad, man. You mad, man. LFG said that segment activated the chat. It definitely did. Continue to smash that like button. We're zooming past that goal, and we appreciate you, chat family. Where we going real quick, Mr. JB Smooth?
Mark White.
Absolutely.
Hey, let's rock.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help.
Mark White's underrated.
Absolutely. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
The Great American Chevy Week is back and bigger than ever at Feldman Chevrolet. Choose from the largest inventory of award-winning Chevys, all priced to move for the biggest week of the year. Get this 2024 Silverado for only $213 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $249 a month. Feldman takes the Great American Chevy Week to another level. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza, back with the Nashville Hot Chicken. Man, it is the best place to go if you want some good eats, because every single time they bring them into the office, it gets eaten up, just snapped, lickety-split. It's so damn good. I go there for lunch sometimes, and you all should too, because they got pizza. They got the most amazing biscuits. They got the said before, Nashville Hot Chicken, chicken strips, everything you could possibly want. So drive on down to Soroki's and get yourself some lunch or dinner. And then sign your kid up for the Boys and Girls Club. Join the best youth football league in Metro Detroit. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Southeastern Michigan's 3C Sports League offers youth ages 5 to 14 with 6 exciting teams to choose from in Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. All coaches are trained, certified, and undergo background checks. Register for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. Equipment, meals, and transportation included, all for a chance to play for a championship at Ford Field for just $175 per child. Put the youth back in youth sports with BGCSM 3C Sports.
Hey, what up, dope people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. So we got a super chat there. Dante 151999.
This picture though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Over there plotting,
Look at
man.
bro over there plotting.
Evil villain, man.
Jeez. Evil villain. I had to stop the pick, man.
Get my breakfast.
Mega Mind.
Think about it. Hey, on that Pinky in the Brain vibes.
Yes.
Let's rock.
It worked.
Dante 151999 super chat. Thank you, Dante, for the support, and to everybody today. It's been a good day for super chats. He said, hey, you guys need to look up Dan Campbell, because apparently he is now playing wide receiver for South Carolina Gamecocks. I am not lying. It's on Google right now.
Oh.
Who screwed up at Google? LOL. Goodness gracious. Dan Campbell, Gamecocks wide receiver.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Out Xavier Leggett in Dan Campbell. So.
yeah, Xavier Campbell. Dan
yep,
Leggett.
right.
Hey, Patrick in the chat said, let's go Gamecocks. Haha. All right. I think it's time to cook up, man.
Shout out Clowney.
Word to this boy. Hey, shout out to Clowney.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Clowney.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Now entering the game, Jay Bizzle.
Let's rock.
I guess he is a wide receiver at the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Hey,
I don't know.
MCDC, you do it all, man.
I guess he's going to do it all.
Send that to the Slack, bro, so they can post that.
I guess my man's going to do it all. You say, hey, you need a wide receiver 3? Well, screw it. I'm going to do it.
What a transition.
Screw it. Hey, what's going on, fellas? I don't know how I follow up this whole debate that we've just sat here and had about over and underrated. Like, you guys put me up next after this? Come on, that was a fire conversation. But I'll try my best. But just know, never play around and prank your friends when you're at the bowling alley. I'm just saying.
Oh, we got to fight, bro.
Oh, no, bro, with the cup check? Come on, bro.
No way, bro.
What are you doing?
Don't touch my balls.
If this is brothers, that's a fight, bro.
Yeah.
We don't do that. It's just like, I never understood why they just like to hit people with the dick, bro.
Who's more in the
It's
wrong?
not nice,
I do
man.
gotta ask you, KG, to you. Who's more in the wrong here? Chat family, let me know.
Bro, you should never be touching another man's
balls.
Yeah,
But who?
like,
He grabbed his balls. He hit his balls. What are you doing?
Hey, I don't care, man. There's better ways to handle that. You not tip dicking me. We gonna have a problem. We gonna have a big
There's better
problem.
ways to handle that. I love it.
There's better ways to handle that, which it probably should have been handled a little bit better.
It's gonna be a brawl at the alley, man. I'm telling you.
It's about to be a fight at the alley. It might be a fight between these two. I don't really know, but who knows? I mean, all I know is that this hurt a lot.
Oh, meet the Fockers.
Now that is a spike.
Why are her friends like smiling, dog?
That is a spike, ladies and
But
gentlemen.
why is her teammates smiling?
That is a tequila
Look, the other team is worried.
No, that shit is hilarious.
The other team, look, her own team was
she
like,
looked away.
gosh, what is going on, dog?
She must be the one that don't pay attention ever. That's why they start laughing.
Oh my
like,
God.
her ass never pay attention.
Dog, and that one girl hit her with the laugh like that father, man.
Right,
That meme.
like, of course it's her.
Goodness gracious, dog.
That shit hurt, man.
That hurt me watching that video. I watched it a couple times. I'm like, this is just dangerous out here right now. But
Their reactions are top tier.
Oh yeah. Their reactions are top tier. Brother, I gotta ask you this question: have you ever seen anyone get scorpion on a baseball field?
Oh Jesus!
It's scorpion on a baseball field.
Yeah.
What?
I don't even know what you're.
You don't know what the scorpion is?
Is that like sliding into a base and his feet
And
come
the legs kick up?
like
Yeah.
over his head? Yeah, I think you face plant into the dirt. You're trying to slide. Maybe I have a feeling this isn't going to be a normal video you show me.
It's not gonna be a good video, especially for this girl. Just wait for it.
Okay,
Wait for
horrible plan to first.
God
damn.
Flannel's face cracked me up, dog.
First of all,
brother, have you ever seen this?
No, that's hilarious. That's awesome.
Girl, first of all, you was not gonna make it to first. Secondly, why are you sliding into first base?
Guys,
Flannel, what
running through the first base path is faster than sliding.
Fact.
Always
Thank
is.
you.
Always has been.
Who slides in the first? And she wasn't gonna make it regardless. Like she was out. Look, you are long out.
You're not gonna make
like,
it.
what are you sliding?
Bro, like
into first
KG's
for?
so right. Like, yo, the pitcher is playing hot potato with the ball and you still not making it? Bro, just take your stride and just round it off and run back to the dugout. Instead, infamy.
That's some shit you do on MLB The Show. Like I would slide in the first on MLB The Show just to be funny, just try and get there. No,
Hey, her or Prince Fielder at third base trying to get back.
Oh gosh, I would love if any of you guys can, or maybe Noah Ryan in the back, to like overlay that with the breakdancing girl. From the girl who's going viral.
Man, yeah.
This is quite a move. She was nowhere near being safe, by the way.
She was obviously not hustling because you can't do
near.
that if you're hustling. She was probably jogging and then saw that it was bobble a little bit.
A said it's yoga baseball.
I guess so.
Yeah, I gotta stop doing yoga in baseball. I'm telling you right now.
Fair.
And I guess I'll show some Michigan fans a little, but this is more hate for Ohio State. And one Mr. Justin Field. Shout out to Dante151 for sending me this. But Michigan just got a new recruit, Miss Jessica Fields, aka the sister of Justin Fields, to the Michigan basketball team. So shout out to her. Congratulations. And also just gotta ask Justin Field, how are you feeling right now? Knowing that your sister just went to Michigan. Just saying, shots fired.
Hey, that's what's up.
Just saying, shots fired with that. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. Shout out to Amon-Ra St. Brown and the Lions organization for inviting this young man out. I'm probably going to butcher his last name, but I'll try if I can. John Agnelio. He was out and saved an elderly woman at Lake St. Clair from a car accident in a lake. And he was invited out. Amon-Ra obviously signed a jersey for him as well too, and his family also got tickets to the season opener as well against the Rams. So just a shout out to this man right here for being an amazing citizen and seeing someone in need and actually going out to help as well too. So shout out to him.
Shout out, man.
Shout out, John.
Yo, that's what's up, man.
Shout out to John. But that's it with what's trending, you guys. Let's hop into some mailbag.
That was a good one, man. That was a good one. I'm glad you featured that last time with Amon-Ra as well. Hey, dope job as always. Cooking up, man. Word to Dispo. Excuse me. What do we gotta go to next?
Let's hit him with Dr. Pierce and Randy.
All right, got you.
Big week for Pierce. Big week.
Big week for him, man. His content has been hot, breaking down the injuries that we've seen happen to our Detroit Lions during training camp and preseason. So attention, sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with the man himself, Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. You can join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and every Thursday on Armani and Edwards with Mass, where he's offering top-notch injury advice. Hey, trust the guy at DMAC Trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. And I got to tell you about Randy Wise Automotive and their celebrity golf tour. They got a lot of these golf tournaments going on. And hey, how would you like to play the University of Michigan golf course with Braylon Edwards? It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tours. Register today, and you can round off our foursome. You heard that right. Our foursome. I'll say it a second time, hey? At WUWsports.com or scan the code on the screen. When it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision. Randy Wise Automotive.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around. Who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Wake Up Woodward and Big D Energy is going to be there at our Novi location tomorrow. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, let's rock. You guys just heard it's time for our Wake Up Woodward mailbag segment presented by Feldman Automotive. Get your mailbag questions into the chat right now, chat family. We want to be able to feature you, answer your questions, as many as we can. Got a few minutes left on the show to do so. So let's get it in.
Ed O'Neill, mailbag. How much does our defense change if Terrion comes in and is a Pro Bowler year one? Would that be enough to get us to top 10?
Yes.
Yes. A little bit of what we talked about earlier in the show. I know he showed up on all of our lists. It was the most consistent name across the board with our top 5 impact rookies. And he has the opportunity to do so this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. The Shaquille Oatmeal mailbag. Is Prime Rondo on the Celtics a top 5 point guard of all time? He truly played the role of a point guard with multiple 20-assist games.
No. Because the offense just wasn't there. He was great. Don't get me wrong, but like just the offense was not there. He was a great ball handler and playmaker, but as far as just outright scoring, he didn't have it.
I mean, Isaiah Thomas, Magic, Steph Curry, Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, Oscar Robertson. I mean, those are just 6 I can name off the top of my head that are better than Rajon Rondo. No disrespect to him. He was very good, but I wouldn't say top 5.
No.
Alan W. mailbag. What's going on at practice with all these injuries? Does Dan have them hitting each other with steel pads?
I hope so. You know what?
It's part of the game, man.
It's part of the game. We talked about it during the break as well, kind of teeing this stuff up. And it's like, it doesn't matter. You already know what it is. When it gets time to that season, whether it's church league, rec league, college, high school, it doesn't matter. When you start to work out and get ready for actual game speed, you get these types of nicks and knocks and bruises and bumps and all of that. And my coach, I told you, Flannel, he told us, man, if you're not injured or if you're not sore, it means you are not working right now. This is the time that I want to see these guys work. They're going to have this happen, man.
It's football, man.
Yeah.
Things just happen.
Yeah. Question for KG and JB from Jonathan Lord. Mailbag. Is Odyssey Jones the new member of the New Day?
Oh,
man.
Go ahead, JB. Get shit off. It's a good question, though.
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, I I feel like he will be, but I don't want to see it happen because I feel like you're just replacing Big E with another big type of person.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see Big E get replaced, even though I don't believe he's going to come back. Like, he's just going to be that commentator for all the pre and post shows or premium live events that they have. But I just hate to see it happen. It's like I'm seeing the New Day break up. Like, I don't like that.
Yeah, no, I do agree, but unfortunately, it just seemed like Big E is not going to be able to recover from the type of neck injury that he had. I mean, the guy was literally dropped on his neck. He was slammed by somebody and landed on his neck on the outside of the ring. So that's an injury. It's just like, you can't risk that, man. But I do like the fact that they are finally giving Odyssey Jones some work, man. He's a guy that's really, really good in the ring. They had drafted him to Raw, I think, 2 years straight and never gave him any storylines, never gave him any TV time. So I do like the fact that they are trying to position him as a guy now, but I think they are using him to kind of break up the New Day, which, I mean, the New Day's been around for forever at this point. They were a great tag team, never really liked the gimmick, but they made it work. And, it's time, man. It's time. Kofi's getting old. It's time.
Yeah.
Kiazi, you're my guy, so I'm going to turn your statement into a question. You talked about, how do we not mention the Red Wings and Lions collabing at training camp?
What?
So I ask,
We did.
Dylan Larkin and a bunch of the Red Wings were there. Larkin gave Jared Goff a Vladimir Konstantinov jersey. So I'll ask you guys, mailbag from Kiazi. Chances Jared Goff knew who Vladimir Konstantinov was before that very moment?
He did not.
I know he said he's got to do some research, but no chance, right?
No chance.
And that's okay. He's a California kid.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan's reaction, mailbag. If all Woodward Sports Network hosts play 2v2 basketball, which hosts win?
Kool-Aid and Braylon.
Whoever.
Kool-Aid and Braylon.
If they're on the same team?
Yeah. Kool-Aid and Braylon would I mean, it'd be unfair, honestly. You can't have both of them. You guys probably can't have both of them together.
Let's rock.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'll take Lindsay.
Well, Lindsay's...
I'll pretend he's still here. Yeah. I got Lindsay.
battle.
I'll lock Braylon down.
Lindsay's
Lindsay's
with
got
the height.
Yeah.
Lindsay and I are the same height. Hey,
If you ever seen Lindsay at Joe D, man, you know.
Oh, I've been playing basketball with Lindsay for a
Yeah,
long.
that's
We
what I'm saying.
ran it back on this show
yeah.
for a long time since I was in middle school. We've been playing.
Yeah. They got some great questions. Dante151, mailbag. Can the Tigers bring up Max Clark in September? Because his walk-up music is awesome. Also, he's been hitting the baseball well.
No.
Yeah,
And that's not yet. Maybe September of next year.
Maybe.
You know what? Ryan's reaction says something great as well, and I kind of like what he said. He said Kool-Aid would be on Broder's team.
And we'd win.
I like that.
And Kool-Aid, we'd win.
That feels more natural. That feels better.
Yeah. Lots of nuts on chins. Desert Stallion. Ooh. Desert Stallion 14, mailbag. I should have paused before this question.
Yeah.
All right,
There's no way to
reset.
pause that.
Desert Stallion 14, mailbag. 2022 Lions Heart and Soul was Jamal Williams. Who has that title now? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sewell, Goff. Anybody else?
It's Penei Sewell, man. Have you seen the way he hypes the team up in some of these huddles, man? He is becoming an absolute leader on this team. I love what Penei Sewell brings. The more time goes on, the more confident he gets. And he's a presence. I mean, he was kind of like the foundational piece to the Lions' current success, man. So, yeah.
I'm glad you said that because as much as I love the out frontness and the loudness of Williams, I still thought it was Penei Sewell that year as well.
I was about to say, Jamal Williams cannot be a heart and soul.
Yeah.
With all due respect, he had a 1,000-yard season. I don't know. His antics got on my nerves from time to time. Penei Sewell is a real heart and soul.
We the lights.
Oh, my God.
My Lakers tickets.
So Flannel literally is just like,
I know. Flannel don't like some shit. You know it.
Yeah.
Freddie Foul 313, mailbag. Most overrated championship team of any of the four major sports. We'll go all time or the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's really tough.
That's vague.
What comes to mind while I find another one?
The bubble league, NBA bubble league championship.
I don't like that narrative, though.
I don't.
But that's why it's a good conversation. Like, some people feel some type of way.
I mean, it's not what basketball is. Like we knew the types of advantages and disadvantages you face when you're going on the road, and those things matter in sports. They took that entire environment out, and players were able to be at their peak at all times, sitting at a world-class facility at all times. They weren't on the road. They weren't traveling nowhere. They weren't going nowhere. It was just show up. And if you know anything, bro, as I get older, I don't even want to drive down the street for milk, bro. LeBron James, these guys are able to just walk out their room in their slides and just pull up to the court. That feels like an open run with no fans in the building. That type of environment is just different.
You know what the problem is, though? It's just used as to push anti-LeBron agenda. That's all it ever is.
It is.
If they win, oh, it's a Mickey Mouse bubble. If they lose, LeBron couldn't even win in the bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine in an alternate universe, and a lot of people aren't going to like this, but I don't give a damn. If this was Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant winning in a bubble, it would have just been further proof of their killer instinct or Mamba. You cannot tell me otherwise. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying.
Because
Stop lying.
I think it's the era because people don't want to give KD credit for winning a literal championship and being what we all know to be one of the best players
Absolutely.
ever. They still don't want to give him credit. So I don't know.
KD was a two-time Finals MVP. Two-time Finals
How
MVP.
do people not give KD credit?
People want to ding his legacy all the time because he went and joined up with the big bad Warriors.
I understand,
that's what
but
everyone was doing.
when he went to the Warriors, he was unequivocally the best player on the Warriors.
I agree with
you. No question
and
at
in
all.
crunch time, he put in the work.
Absolutely.
Look, when it came down to winning time, it was KD versus LeBron, and he put in the work.
He put it in LeBron's career. I mean, I don't see how people. I do get how people do that, but I don't agree.
Honestly, if the 2017 Warriors don't have KD, they lose to Cleveland in the final.
Absolutely.
Maybe not 2018 when Kyrie Irving leaves, but Kevin Durant being somebody who could actually mark LeBron James at that time and play him almost possession for possession, that's huge. It's almost unfair, but you know what? KD was the difference. He was the Finals MVP. He did not ride anybody's coattails. It made it easier for him, but he was the man.
And that was already a championship team, so that should even tell you more that KD was that guy.
Yep. Hey, burn $5 super chat. Panay, the War Chief Sewell. Hey, I like that. I like
War
that.
Chief?
The
Ooh,
War
that's
Chief.
that's cold.
The War Chief.
All right, last two real quick. Rando Smalls, mailbag. Her torque will be back soon if he has it figured out. Should we be looking to upgrade the hitting instructor at the MLB level? I direct you, ask that question to Riley Green and Colt Keith and see what they think about the new philosophies of the hitting instructor at the major league level. Not what Al Avila guys have shown this season. All right, last question. Erica's still wagging. Mailbag. If you guys have the opportunity to cover only one Detroit sport solely, what's your sport?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Lions.
Yeah, see, it's an interesting question. I think a lot of people would think I would say Tigers, but it would be the Lions right now. I mean,
Lions all day.
I'm always
there's so much fun.
I love the Lions, but basketball culture, it's been my brothers, it's been my brotherhoods my whole entire life. It's been my peaks. Even though football's been a sport that I enjoy playing more, basketball's something that's just delivered so much, and I enjoy the culture. I enjoy giving back. I love it, man. I love it. Pistons.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Hey, it's a show.
Send it up.
10-1, baby.
You know what? They can't even see the chest pass, but they'll know.
They can see that.
Hey, it's like magic.
Y'all just passed it through Broder like that?
Yeah.
Wild.
Oh, man. You know, and it's ever so appropriate, too, man. I just saw the Deadpool movie, and there was some crazy stuff in there, man. Crazy stuff.
Don't
crazy
tell me,
stuff.
man. I still ain't seen it yet.
I ain't going to tell you. I won't spoil it for nobody, but you know what? Me and Queen Kool-Aid, we enjoyed our time. It was a pretty dope evening. But it's been a great show. Why? Because Chat Family, you guys have made it a great one. Thank you for staying engaged. Thank you for the answers. I saw you guys also answered in the poll of what was it was a steroid era. Underrated or overrated? You guys think largely 67, 68% that it is underrated. We might have to get into that a little bit more because I loved that era of baseball. But shout out to intern Chase. Shout out to that dude Justin as well, who's back and in the building. And we got to break this thing down. The vet of the network. We got Flannel Sam bringing the heat. I believe that your top 5 list was probably my favorite.
Oh, I appreciate that. And just so you guys know, we could do a whole show on one of the overrateds, underrateds. That we might be using. So stay tuned. It's a doozy.
Hey, you know what? You teased the spicy level. You know what? I hope, Chat Family, that we did appropriately. Shout out to Matt Broder, our credentialed Tigers and our Lions reporter and writer for the network. Great job, man. You mastermind.
Well, Sam teed that one up for me yesterday. Like their conversation, it was like starting to bubble, and then they moved on. I was like, we got to revisit this. And then I heard on Armani and Edwards them comparing J.J. McCarthy to, or they claiming he's a polished Josh Allen. I was like, we got to talk about overrated and underrated stuff.
And listen, I like J.J. McCarthy, but that was crazy what they said.
That was crazy.
No, but that's also
we got more
backhanded
topics.
Josh Allen hate.
Hey, we got more topics. Keep adding them, bro. Listen, as you hear these things, keep adding them. I love the segment today. Great job, brother. Great job. Shout out to our elite, our wonderful, our magnificent, our magnificent.
Come on,
our great,
you can't say that
our
twice.
Handsome,
There you go.
our lively, our creative.
Hey, there we go.
Our elite booth, man. Shout out to Ennis Sound Booth, Detroit's #1 draft pick. Our reigning bar king for another week by technicality.
I know, because we already know. So, hey, man, longest reigning, man. That's
Shout
all
out
I'm
to Black
saying.
Hollywood, KG. What up,
Hey,
bro?
man, we finna take this show on the road, man. So make sure y'all tap in with us. Shout out to the chat. Love y'all for tapping in and showing love. LFG, you my dog, man. I appreciate the love. And yeah, man, looking forward to this week on the road, man.
Hey.
Wednesday through Monday.
The next 4 shows.
Wednesday through Monday. We are on the road.
And we also got one of the bigger ones at the end of the month. Y'all got to stay tapped in. It's going to be a lot of different celebrities and sports stars right here in Detroit.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I'm ecstatic. Stay tapped in all month, man. Yeah. Last year was hype. Hey, man, JB and I, man, we were making the rounds, but shout out to JB Smooth, WUW Sports' MVP in the city booth, man. What up, though, brother?
Man, it's been a hell of a show. Yeah, we're on the road for the next 4 shows. It's going to be crazy. It's going to get wild, but please stay tapped in because we are about to entertain the hell out of you every single morning. You got to come back for more. And everybody, stop sleeping on Jake Fromm. He's better upgrade than Nate Sudfeld. I'm just saying.
We don't know.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I see it. Chinavirus said, great show. Jake Fromm will push out Hooker.
Ooh, I don't know about that, but
no, Jake from State Farm is just insurance if a hooker doesn't perform.
Hey. You know what? And I think we had the greatest hot mic ever. But it's your boy. Shout out to Brother. Shout out to Brother. I gotta go on a t-shirt, bro. I gotta go on a t-shirt.
We need that on a shirt.
Shout out to the shirt. JB,
I need that on a shirt.
Please help us make that happen, dog. We have to. Gosh, Brother, that was an epic drop. It's your boy Brandon Dan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons reporter and writer for the network. It's been an awesome show. Thank you guys for staying tapped in with us, smashing that like button, engaging, supporting us because it means the world to us. Thank you guys. Have a great day. It's been Wake Up Woodward. Be blessed.